I've also tried the MIP ones.
All right. We got a long arm kit. Oh, this is gonna be intense. I need tweezers for this thing. Tiny. Gonna take this shell off here. Seems like I'll get better access. to everything that I'm gonna need to. So it looks like we gotta put these ball joints into here somehow. I do though. Let's try and figure out how to do this.
install it on my phone, but I've got Apple and it's got Android. So we're going to now chuck in a JMC code boost servo. Upload support. That'll be in there for now. And then we're going to open it up in Android app. The quickest way to change servos. Ready? Boom! Eco boost. Boom! We tightened up all the cabling. And next, we've got about the tyres. Guys, are we looking professional? You probably like this, but this is a two-wheel drive car. I'm not really very good with two-wheel drive. Really struggle because most of my cars in here are all four-wheel drive. I've got a two-wheel drive one there. You guys always ask me why I don't use it. It's because I find it really hard to drive. So we're going to see how we get on with this one. We're fully kit set up. I built it exactly by the book. We're going to see how it handles, how it performs, and then we're going to see in a future video. We might play back with the settings and see if we can make it go even better. But I think it's going to be see how this one goes. Got the job test. I shot I'm not really sure about this white spoiler on the front. I think it's over the top of the box. It's got a clear one on there. Luckily, it comes to two in the box, so there's a clear one on there. Yeah, I reckon that looks better. Right, let's have some light lights turned up. So I've got the connectors on there. It's set again. Right, check out the box. Eco boost turbo again, ready?
It's gonna take a minute. Lots of these little ball joints. I think you'd call them. Yes. So, I don't know if anyone's watching this replay, but I haven't been posting bike stuff in a while. It's because my bike's in the shop. It's getting its forks sent to Fox because there's a horrible creak in it. Every time I do a stoppie, it does this really bad creak. Almost sounds like a crack. So hopefully they'll fix that. It started happening after I sent it to get my stanchions replaced. So maybe that was the cause, which is kind of a long stretch because they're the pros over at Fox. And they would know what they're doing. But everybody makes mistakes. Bye. Yeah. So, oh well. We're making RC stuff. I did just make 2 boards for crawling. You can ramp them up at different angles and see if you can crawl up them. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Okay. So let's get these on. what they look like. Oh.
Tips for beginners, there we go. Blah, 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 blah. Last now, but when you qualify. There he is. Pushing his way through the back. Oh, he wasn't there. Now it's been. Now it's full. Oh, he's up. Right.
Fixed affordable solution. No surprises.
Cool. I think we're done. Bit of a weirdo. Hi.
RC four-wheel drive steel stampede lock wheels for your SCX24. Take the black piece out, mount it to the front of the wheel. Bam! Deep dish wheels. It also makes it a little wider. I think that looks sick. Why have I not thought about this before? RC four-wheel drive steel.
Hi, this is Jason at Hello RC. Based on a video I watched on our
how to make your RC tires more sticky. Interesting way of wording it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Nicky Bobby here, and today we are going to be adding grip to our RC rock crawler tires. Now, your tires are one of the most important parts of your rock crawler, and you want to make sure that these have as much grip as possible. So we're going to be adding extra grip and making them more sticky by using WD-40 and one of these foam brushes. Now, these two items are very inexpensive. You can pick them up from the store, or chances are you might even have these at your home. And these two items are going to be what makes our tires more sticky. So let's jump right into the video. Okay, so real quick, before we jump into the video, one thing I do want to mention is for the best results, you want to have your tires super clean. Now, if you haven't already checked out my video on how to clean your tires, go do that right now. I'll have a link in the description below. And you want to just get these nice and clean before you apply the WD-40. Otherwise, it's just not going to turn out as well. So go check out that video, go clean your tires, and then come back and we'll make them nice and sticky. Okay, guys, so let's get to work. I've already told you what you need. Just a can of WD-40 and the foam brush. So the first thing that you want to do once you have your supplies together is go ahead and turn your car over like I have here. Now, you can't just take the wheel off altogether, and that works just fine. But, there's a lot of bolts right in here that I have to take out in order to do that. So I figured, well, I'm just going to turn it over, and it should work just as well. So once you've done that, go ahead and grab your foam brush and your can of WD-40, and you want to spray the WD-40 onto the foam brush. Don't spray it onto the tire directly because it's going to get it everywhere and make a big mess. So just spray it onto the foam brush like this. All right, great. So you won't need a lot, by the way, just a little bit. Then once you have it on a brush, you go ahead and just spread it out across the tread of your tire like this. All right, just like that. Make sure you get all the way around the wheel. Now, you don't need to do your sidewall. You can if you want, but you certainly don't need to. It really just matters most when it's on the tread. So now you know the steps. Go ahead and do it to all 4 of your tires. All right, guys, so we're back, and it's been about 30 minutes, and I'm checking out my tires. They look pretty good, actually. At this point, usually what you'd want to do is grab a paper towel and just wipe them down and get any excess off. But I put a pretty thin layer on, and so they really don't look that bad, so I'll probably just leave them. But yeah, if you have any WD-40 that's kind of pooling up or dripping or anything like that, definitely wipe it off, wipe off any excess. And once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and wait some more. Now this time, we want the WD-40 to soak in completely, and that'll take about 3 or 4 hours. So I know it's a long time to wait, but it's definitely going to be worth it. So I'll see you guys in a couple hours. All right, guys, so we are back. It's been about 3 or 4 hours since I wiped them clean, all the excess, and these tires are super sticky. And you can see the bottom is just sticking to the ground there as I move it back and forth. And it also has a nice sticky sound to it too, as it kind of moves on this surface. And yeah, I know it might be a little bit tricky to tell, in the video, but you gotta take my word for it. These tires are super sticky, and I think it's gonna make a big difference out on the rock crawling course. So that is how you give your tires more grip, and that's gonna wrap up this video. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know if you liked it, and let me know how it works out for you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.
So you just cleaned them and then just put WD-40 on them, basically. Interesting. Top crawler secrets,
top 5 RC crawler secrets.
I like secrets.
Francis from RC Review.
I like secrets.
Unbiased reviews on components and kits. But today, I'm going to talk about those little known tips that really bring out RC crawler performance. Consider subscribing for content like this. And if you want to purchase any of these products, there's going to be links in the description. and it will help our channel out to deliver more content like this. So right to it. Number one is overdrive and underdrive. What is it? It is transmission that spins your front wheels faster than your rear wheels. And what does it do? It allows your vehicle to climb, something that is previously unclimbable without this mod. Why does that work? When you're in this position, a lot of your weight and your traction is on your rear tire. And if these are spinning equally, these hardly have any grip, these have a lot of grip, it pushes it over and flips it over. So what people have found out is you spin this a little faster than this, the magic number seems to be 25%, and what you have is a vehicle that pulls itself on the steepest ledges, while these help out a little bit, or just enough. And of course, that's configurable. You can go 12% overdrive, maybe 45% overdrive. Just understand that it has compromises, and that is usually it's strain on your drivetrain if you're just going trailing or high speed. Also, if you're side hilling, you're dragging your rear wheel a little bit, so it has a little bit of that, effect on the side, adverse effect on the side hilling. Number two, secret for me is wheel weights. So here's a couple wheels. One is 100 grams and the other is 200 grams. Tire and wheel and foam included. This will usually perform quite a bit better than this. Everything else being equal. The reason tire and wheel and foam included. Here's a couple wheels. One is 100 grams and the other is 200 grams. Tire and wheel and foam included. This will usually perform quite a bit better than this. Everything else being equal. The reason is it lowers the center of gravity of your vehicle. Instead of tipping over, flipping over sideways on the back, it keeps it planted. This is the lowest part of your vehicle, and a little bit of weight goes a long way. Of course, you can't go too much. Any kind of weight prevents you from climbing the steepest stuff, or it puts more stress on your tire on descending, uphilling, or side hilling. But everything else being equal, it's going to win over. And there's going to be a magic number for you. Whether it be 50 grams extra weight per wheel or 100 grams, it's going to be there. And a couple of tips is you put a little more on the front, because that puts your weight balance to the front a little bit, and it allows you to settle that front tire down so you can climb the steepest stuff. Little known secret, because you don't have to upgrade your wheels. You can just add some fishing weight in there or some solder. It can be a really cheap mod if you do it on the sly, so to speak. Number three secret that I have is lightweight batteries and more cells. So this was my standard battery in the past. I used an even bigger one. This is a 2-cell, 5,000 milliamp hour, and I'm finding that this performs a heck of a lot better than this. So what is it? It's a 3-cell, first of all. So 33% more punch, torque, top speed than this one. But even more important, it's half the weight or less than half the weight. And what does that do? It takes away high center of gravity weight from the vehicle. Takes away less weight, so less weight that your tires and your motor have to drag up a hill. And even more important, you can place this strategically in different parts of the vehicle, most notably low and up front. So, little secret mod here. Happy medium. Of course, this is about 2 hours runtime, about an hour runtime. Really, usually this is enough for me. And you carry 2 or 3 of these. Modularity is key when it comes to batteries. And a happy medium would be this, the Gen6 3600. All kinds of runtime, almost 2 hours really, and still get that weight and portability advantage. Number 4 tip for me, or secret, is the tire system. Most people know about tires. It's about 40-50% of the performance of your vehicle, so you upgrade your tires right away. But understand the secret here is it's a system, meaning not only do you want a good compound or tread pattern, something that can grip front, back, brake, sideways, but you need a good compound as well. You need something soft and gummy that will conform. Also, you need one that is low rebound, very sticky. That way, when you hit something, it just sticks to it. The cost is, of course, that runtime, rolling resistance, but we don't care about that much. We have a lot of power. So the other parts of the system is the foam. The foam has to be matched to your vehicle. If you have a 5-pound vehicle, a lighter foam. 10-pound vehicle, a heavier foam. And another trick is to get the best of both worlds. You want dual stage foam, meaning harder in the middle to give it side support and kind of a vehicle support, and soft on top to make it conform and climb. And descend as well, with great control. And finally, the last trick or secret in the book is the ESC. The ESC, I consider, is the heart of the system. Not the receiver, not the transmitter, not even the motor. That's really the ESC. The ESC is what tells the motor what to do. That's job one. There's another job it has. So in this job, a good ESC will have 10, 20 configuration parameters to tell that motor how to behave. Do you brake? Do you drag brake? How fast do you accelerate? So you can make your vehicle achieve traction, uphill, downhill, with whatever preference or skill set you have in going with that throttle. And let me tell you, the same vehicle, same motor, same everything. You just change the ESC, it can be night and day. And the other thing it does is it makes it go slow. Slow is controlled when it comes to the most technical areas of the trail. And when it's time to get some wheel speed as well, a good ESC will give you some punch. And the other job of the ESC is to power your handy dandy servo. Servo is only as good as what powers it. And this ESC supplies the voltage and amperage to the servo. And a good ESC is going to squeeze the most out of the servo. So you want good amps, to get this to stall, to the stall limit, and you want voltage as well. Voltage means you can up the voltage from 6 volts to 7 to 8, whatever the servo can handle. So you get like a 33 increase in speed and torque. So there's the 5 tips. Hope you discovered maybe 1 or 2, maybe all of them. But what are your 5 tips? What are your 5 best tips in RC crawling? Not necessarily the most whiz bang things that cost a lot of money, but the ones that you discovered, you go, man, that really worked. And give me some more tips, because I'm working on a top 10 tips. Thanks a ton.
This Essentials is here. Start your free trial now.
At Denny's, we're open for anything. Like our new gooey, seriously sweet chocolate chip cookie dough pancakes. Social stars influenced
This dough is money.
and perfect for the fam. Get that cookie dough pancakes only at Denny's.
Today, I'm going to tell you about my top 5 recommendations for RC crawler motor and ESC combinations. I'm going to tell you what to look for and the pros and cons of some of these systems. All right, motor and ESC combos are so important, and your ready to run vehicles usually come with the crappiest ones around. So this is a typical one, a 540 motor and an ESC, a rudimentary ESC, same as what we've been using 20 years ago. Gets you going, but it really is limited. And why is it limited? The power and punch on these is not good. In crawling situations, you need a lot of torque. Torque gets you over obstacles with control. You don't want speed to get over an obstacle because you'll just careen out of control. So you want a lot of torque. Your ESC, you want a lot of current. So these can be rated for 2S, 3S, or 4S. Most of them can handle 3S. Battery power, you want programmability, you want to be able to change a lot of stuff. This one is programmed by jumper or dip switches, usually wheel switch that always fails. So this is your starting point, and The good news is you don't have to spend a lot of money. You have brushed motors, which are cheaper, and ESCs, and brushless. And in brushless, there's a couple of types that I'll go through. The first one I'd like to recommend is one of the most fascinating ones because it has so much bang for the buck. And that's what we're all about, right? Value. So here it is. It's the Hobbywing 80 ESC, about $45, and a Holmes Hobbies Trailmaster Sport, about $25. So the Trailmaster Sport is more like this. This is a Crowdmaster, one of their higher end ones, about $25. So for $70, you're walking away with so much more than what this original Traxxas Bronco came with. And what do you get? You get an ESC that is so smooth, so punchy, so configurable. You configure it with this box right here. They include this thing. It's awesome. You have a switch that's quite reliable, and then you are able to power your servo with more voltage than your stock ESC. So not only did you upgrade your motor electronics, but you also upgraded your servo. So really can't recommend this enough. And it's even cheaper than your stock equipment. You have to replace those that will burn out probably. A lot more torque on your 550 motor than the 540 it comes with. What are the weaknesses? I would say elements. If you run in water and whatnot, Brushed will definitely have that weakness. The programming, is you got to do it with this car. It's like a clock radio, so it's not quite as easy. So not perfect, but for the money, really one of the most amazing values in RC. Next system I'd like to recommend is something for your little crawlers, which are very popular indoor in the winter, cold weather. So these are awesome, $100, right? But the problem is the motor is so tiny that it just can't produce a lot of torque and speed. And the ESC is built in with the receiver, so there's usually no programming available with it. So the best option for that is to change the ESC. So this is a PureTech Lizard Pro 30 amp. So this can do a lot more voltage, can handle a 3S battery. It will work with your current motor. So this, you can just program this and you'll have an upgrade right away. A lot of programmability. And if you wanted to upgrade a motor, this is their Komodo motor. This is capable of 4S, very powerful motor. And it has so much torque and so much modulation that it's really the next level. So disadvantage to this is it's expensive. It's $120, about as much as your car, and it is a little bit high. So you will have to do some real estate rearranging to get great performance out of your mini crawlers. Next motor and ESC I'd like to recommend is a company called Castle Creations, tried and true. Been around so many years. They kind of fell asleep at the wheel, but they really started innovating again. And their standout are their ESCs, and this one's called the Castle Copperhead. So the Copperhead is super cool because it is small. It sits between their Sidewinder and their Mamba X, monkey in the middle, and it's the best fit for crawlers. And it's capable of 4S, so super ballistic speeds, programmable with a lot of throttle curves and all that. And you can pair it with their slate motors. These are censored motors, by the way. This third wire. So slate motor is cool, very fast motors. Another great option are the Holmes Hobbies Cooler Pro motors. They're little motors. They always work more than their size. They're little titans, basically. Next recommendation I have for really high-end stuff are these Outrunner motors from Holmes Hobbies and a company called Three Brothers. So from Holmes Hobbies, we have this called the Revolver. This is a stubby. And look how tiny it is. You can't hardly see it. This is the motor right there. So this is called a stubby. And then Three Brothers has something called the Yellow Jacket. Super cool. So, but what's really got my attention on this is they used to be kind of noisy, but Holmes Hobbies developed a new ESC series called Trailmaster. That's so small, so weight is important in the high-end competition crawlers, but they're quiet. They don't scream like normal outrunner motors. And what's special about outrunner motors are two things: the power to weight ratio is like nothing else. This thing is so light, but it has so much power, so much punch, and the next thing, it has so much torque and modulation. You can see this thing spin so slow, and at that speed, it has a lot of torque. And the reason is you're spinning the case of the motor. So instead of the shaft spinning, the case is spinning. And when you have something of that mass and inertia going, it has a lot of torque. Oh, downsides to the system are noise, especially before the old ESC, and also, they're not as rugged in the elements. If you're gonna run in mud and streams and rocks and whatnot, this since the case is spinning, there could be some damage and interference when you do that. And finally, my last recommendation is from a fascinating company called Hobbywing. Hobbywing new to the game a few years ago, and people just poo-pooed them, but they were legit. And they have two systems that are crazy. So this is the Axe 550 D2. It's a big can, so this is a 540, and a lot of torque, no doubt about it. Especially in the D2 now, it has punch as well. And what it has that is special from the rest is called Foc Technology, and Foc Technology will basically sense the amount of load that the situation warrants, and the motor is going to give it. So if you wanted to set it at a speed, you don't have to give it this. It'll just sense it itself electronically and give it a lot of torque, which is crazy. So it can maintain speed in a much easier fashion. And the great thing is, if you don't like that, if you want to do it all yourself, you can program it out as well. So the system is fascinating. The other system I'd like to recommend is something called a Fusion. The Fusion is insane because it is a 540 can that integrated the ESC in the can. So basically, it just looks like this. And it's a whole motor and ESC combination with all the features of this. The downside of the Fusion, of course, is it's not as powerful, but you do want, it has 2 kV ratings. You want the higher one, the 2300 kV, but it is robust and reliable. You need, of course, a real estate for this size of can. It's for Hobbywing. If there's any weakness, it's a big system, so it's not for lightweight applications, especially this one. And it has a proprietary technology. This is a sensored wire, not compatible with any other manufacturer. So you have to use their ESC when you use their motor, and vice versa. When you start playing with motor ESCs, you'll really open up horizons and possibilities for your RC. Thanks. Okay, we have something really exciting today. We have two Vanquish BS410 Phoenix portal vehicles. What's special about this vehicle is it's from the revered company Vanquish, and they put it at a price point that's more attainable for more RCers. $500 before.
Welcome back to the channel. Today, we got some tires from the Ready to Run. They're harder. That you buy kit tires. They're softer. So what I'm going to try to do today is turn the Ready to Run tires into a softer compound by putting them in a bag and spraying WD-40. I don't know if it actually works or what it does, but we're going to give it a shot and leave it in there for about 8 hours and let you know what happens. This does something to soften the compound of the rubber, which then make it a little bit stickier. So we have our brand new can of WD-40. Sprays 2 ways. You can spray or stream. I don't know what way is better. But that was a minute. Kind of spraying on, so garage. Try not so much at this kitchen table. Okay. Seal the bag up. Shake your own. I'm going to double bag it just in case it doesn't go. You don't make a mess. I'll spray a little bit extra in here just to make sure it works. Seal it back up. That's about how much I had in there. I just shaked around, mixed up, manipulate them a little bit. I stretch them out. Put them in here. And we'll be back in about 8 hours, and we'll do a comparison between these ready-to-run tires that have been soaked in WD-40 versus a set of kit tires that come much softer. We'll do some comparisons. Thank you. Okay, so I pulled the tires out of the WD-40 after like 8 or 9 hours. I didn't make a video right then because the tires swell up exponentially. This is the next day now, but it's like you can see a comparison to what they look like before to what they are now, slightly bigger, way soft. It made it super soft. I can't even really tell the difference between a kit tire and the ready-to-run tire soaked in WD-40, except for the WD-40 one is bigger. I don't know if you can see it on camera. But when it swelled up and got bigger, the problem is it also made the tire deform a little bit and stretch out here, so it's a real loose fit on the rim. So if you wanted to do this and run it, you're going to have to super glue your tires to the rim because it can spin. I guess this one ain't too bad. But last night they were worse, so I this morning soaked them in water, washed WD-40 off real good. Maybe after a while it'll shrink down a little bit. But if anything, glue them on the rims and a little bit bigger tire. Personally, I wouldn't recommend doing this. It definitely made the tire softer. That's ready to run tire before, and that's after. Just it's nothing. And then this is good all mixed up. And this kit tire, ready to run, not soaked, and then soaked. Hard, soft. It's just as soft as the kit tire, maybe not quite as soft. But again, it stretched the rim area out, so I don't know how well that's going to work for any of you. Then we'll try to get these mounted up on some rims, see what they look like. But one thing I noticed is when I stacked them all together, just you can squish it down into a probably can't do that with just the standard ready-to-run tires. So again, the WD-40 most definitely softened them up a lot. I don't know if it'd be better to keep the WD-40 away from the rim and maybe just have like a puddle, like a 1/4 inch, and just keep like rolling it through, maybe brush it on, just try to get the tread surface. That way it doesn't affect your rim diameter. The tires on. I might give it another shot. I'm not too worried about it. I got kit tires. It's just an experiment. See if I can figure out some free and cheap mods to these WDLs. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.
Never miss a delivery when you use the Amazon app. No more waiting at the window or listening through the door. You'll know where your package is and when it arrives with real-time tracking and delivery notifications. What will you do with your newfound freedom? That's shopping made fast and easy, only in the Amazon app.
What's up, guys? Joe Enders here. And for any of you guys that are working out at home right now or just looking for some gym equipment for your house, go on to wish.com. They literally have every piece of gym equipment that you can find.
Vented tires, unvented tires.
I'm gonna go blow this off, and I'll be right back. All dusted off. Oh. Wash these tires.
that's kind of what I did. If you don't notice,
Sorry.
like I said, also if you
For
go
a
to
long
competition
time.
and your
What?
tires balloon like
Tires are
this,
clean.
what do? You pop the bead open by unscrewing the bead lock, and then boom, and now it's complete. So it's not a unworkable situation. There's an easy solution. So there you go. Let me know in the comments if you are a venter or you are an unventer, and
I'm an inventor.
explain to me the reason why. And are you looking to switch? So these are all vented. I'm gonna switch to unvented because I have two new vehicles, two very high performance vehicles that are unvented, and I don't notice the difference. So, old dog, new tricks. Thanks a ton. Today on RC Review, we're going to do a deep dive on motors, brushed motors versus brushless motors, when you should use one versus the other. And I'm going to give you 8 reasons why you should use them for RC cars, fast cars, and crawlers. And I'm going to give you 2 reasons why you shouldn't use them. Curious? Okay, well, what I have here is a brushed motor in 540 size and a brushless motor in 540 size as well. And first, I'm going to start off by giving you 8 wonderful reasons why you should be using the brushless motor. The first reason why you should use brushless is because it produces a lot more power, punch, and top speed. With a similar size, this produces at least double the power of this. So if it is speed, power, jumps, fun that you're looking for, you have to go brushless. The second reason why you should go for brushless is because it is more battery efficient. With similar power outputs, speeds, this one gives you about 1.5 times more runtime, maybe more than that, than the brushed motor counterpart. It's just a lot more efficient. So you have more fun time, right? But what if you don't want a 2-hour runtime? You're happy with your 1-hour runtime. What you could do is you can use a smaller battery and get the same amount of runtime as you do with your brushed. And a small battery allows you to lower your center of gravity, and you can position this in more spots in your vehicle. The third reason why you should use brushless is because it has more drag brake. Even though you don't have the desire to go ballistic speeds, the drag brake on this can help your crawler as well. And it has this different type of technologies called FOC, Field Oriented Control, which can give you drag brake even while you are going down a hill. And it's very controllable with the latest technologies on brushless motors. The next reason why you should go brushless is because it is available in more form factors. They are more compact than what's available on brushed. So this is a 540, this is a 550, but there's a few other technologies where you have a 540 and notice the ESC is big, where they integrate the motor and the receiver in one unit like this. So instead of having this system on brushed, you have basically that, which is pretty cool. Another one that's kind of cool is you have different kinds of motors called outrunners. So this thing is a tiny outrunner motor, and it's a lot more powerful than this motor right here. So you have more power density, and that allows you, more options with center of gravity and positioning your motor in tight spaces. Number 5 in our desirability scale for the brushless motor, it is a lot more bulletproof. It is a lot more protected from the elements, dust, water, mud, anything, because it's completely sealed. This is a brushed motor. It always has holes to prevent it because it gets hot inside.
Now I'm just gonna slightly put some WD-40 just on the outside on the tread of my rings, my tires. Yeah.
So it allows sediments, water inside into the sensitive parts of the motor. If you have very clean water, it's not a big issue. But once you have river water where there's sand in there and little rocks, it will mess up your brushless with your brush motor pretty quickly because the brushes in there are sensitive. So aside from being elements proof, it's also maintenance free. This thing doesn't have any wood contacting parts inside. It's really everything is on bearings, and so it is a lot more friction free, and you could run this for years and not have to maintain it. A brush motor, it has a brush that is contacting an armature, reversing the polarity, so you'll keep it rotating seamlessly, and that is a wear item for sure. The higher performance your brush motor, the faster that item wears, and you have to replace brushes periodically. Number 6 on our pros for the brush motor system is the RPM range is much wider. So this thing, I think it tops out at 20,000 RPM, but this thing you can go 40,000 RPM. So from 0 to 40,000, it's pretty cool. And what that allows you to do is it gives you top speed. So it gives you the modulate, the smooth control in the bottom end, but some high end as well. It kind of acts like a 2-speed transmission. So, you're able to avoid the mechanical complexity of a transmission by having a motor with a very wide range of RPMs. Next reason to go brushless is you have this type of motor, which is fascinating, called the Outrunner motor. So here it is. You can barely see it. It's so tiny, but it is so powerful and it modulates well. The ESC as well is right here, very small. In the past, these were very noisy, very easy, very good control, good torque, but very noisy. But they've been able to quiet that down now. Holmes Hobbies has, and so what you have is a motor system that is so tiny, but still so powerful and controllable. And this is why they use it in drones and planes. The power to weight ratio on this is amazing, and this is a developing subject. The number 8 reason why brushless is cool is because all the technology, all the know-how, the brain power in the world is pouring into brushless technology. So it's ever changing. That Outrunner motor, that's a new thing, that it's so quiet. The integrated one, there's so much that's going to happen in the next few years with this technology that it's good to be part of it because we're going to benefit from all that science that's going to come in. And the reason is it's not only used in RC cars, planes, and drones, but also your bike, your scooter, your electric car, they're all using brushless technology. So all that know-how, technology, programming, flexibility is going to come into the brushless system. Okay, so now we get to the other side of the coin, which is why you shouldn't use brushless technology. So there's a caveat here. If you're using a fast car, like my Armas and my X-Max, there's no reason to use brush. No reason aside from budget. That's just the domain of brushless technology, the fast cars. But the other thing is, where the channel is based on is crawlers. Why should you not use brushless technology in crawlers? And there are 2 reasons why you shouldn't do it that I could think of. The first one is the modulation and the control on a brush motor is better. just a little bit better, but it is still better. So here is a $20 motor, Homes Hobbies 550. You made this with a Hobbywing 1080, and you have amazing control. Because there's nothing like a brush contacting the armature to give you that slow, smooth control. And what's really cool about these things is they're very flexible. A lot of them are hand wound when you get to the high end, so you can optimize them for a particular style. So they have a trail master, a crawl master up, a torque master. So all different varieties, just very how they are wound. And then they have all these turns. How many turns determines how punchy it is or how much RPM it has. You also have these slots. How many magnets does it have? So much flexibility here through decades of experience that it's still pretty darn good, pretty good to control. So when you jump to brushes, you think, oh, I'm gonna have way more control. I'm gonna crawl way better. Maybe not. Okay, the next reason why you should stay with brush is because we have a couple good options. To be honest, guys, if you have all you had was this, what is this? I believe it's an Ashell. This thing, I would say, yeah, just go brushless. Forget this. This is awful. Also, this and the Praxis one, ready to run, awful. But what's happening is we have a few manufacturers that are doing amazing work. Homes Hobbies. There's Hobbywing 1080, which I have in my vehicle right now. There's a new ISDT ESC70, which is cool. You can have this thing for $25, a smaller Trailmaster for $15, so that's $40, and you have a really good system. So $40 or $50 versus this is $250. This one, maybe 230. So the price is high, and if you can see yourself benefiting from the first 8 reasons that I gave you, you want to go high speed, you want to play in water, you want a really small battery or long run times, then yes, maybe it's worth the $250. But if those are not relevant to you because you are crawling, you just tool along every weekend. There's no maintenance issues. You're finding your runtime, when you're top speed. Then maybe you don't need to go that way. Spend it on a good set of tires. So spend it on a nice Hobbywing at 1080 and a few brass components. So the one reason not to go brushless right away is to spend your money a little bit better if you're a crawler. If you're a fast car, you gotta go brushless. Just how it is. So there you go. I hope you found that helpful. I'll try to show you some video. I've used dozens and dozens of these systems. And
okay.
We have an option to go in. Oh yeah. Thanks a ton.
For the real ones. The real one is going to be here. Introducing Oreo frozen treats.
They look like they're drying. Somewhat.
Oh, 103 for hardcores, limitless. What do you Martin get? 109. Hey. My friends are not impressed with the noise. In this video, we're going to back that. Footage!
Alright, well, maybe I'll make a video on my little crawler board, but that's it. Thanks for watching.
So sorry, I know because of the echo, so I always try to record a second track on my phone, but the file was corrupt. Please forgive.